My last question is by email, and it's anonymous. That means it's a really good question. Let me read it to you. We made public a beta version of our product. Okay, sounds good. One of the beta testers made a copycat product. What? And raised funding. Now their product is in beta, and it's an exact replica of ours. I had a meeting with a VC firm recently. I sensed they were not interested in investing, but more interested in what we will build in the future. I shared my vision and specific features we have in mind. No numbers were discussed. I think the VC firm is planning to invest in our competitor and was collecting information. Ooh, the old brain suck, or on Silicon Valley they call it something else. Can you please advise us what we should do other than being more cautious in the future? Well, certainly being more cautious in the future is one thing. You have to come to this knowing, hey, listen, ideas and designs, very hard to trademark and copyright and protect. Now, if somebody did steal your exact pixel by pixel design, some design is copyrightable, and so you could talk to a lawyer about that. If this person was in the beta and you had them sign an NDA, which you didn't, I'm sure, that could be actionable as well. Assuming that didn't happen, you don't really have many options. If you put an idea out there and, you create MySpace and Friendster and Zuckerberg's like, I can make that better. Well, that's the way, entrepreneurship works. It feels crummy. It feels horrible. Now, VC should behave better. Now, you don't know if this VC is actually pumping you for information. When you go to meet with the VC and you meet with upstanding VCs, you should ask them that question. Are you looking at any other investments in the space? Well, if you were a VC, wouldn't you look at the 5 different companies in the space and pick which one you thought had the best chance of success? Regardless of the fact that one might have come after the other or copied or been inspired by the other, that's a VC's job. So I understand the VC's point of view. The question is, will the VC then give all your information that you talked about to the other person? And is that information in any way proprietary? For example, if I was pitching Lyft or Uber to a VC and they said, oh, you know what? We think at some point we're going to have a button where you can order food. It's like, well, that's kind of obvious. That's not, the ideas are not that big of a deal. Now, if you had a proprietary system for doing that, you would be very careful. That's why when people meet with VCs, they meet with them once, they give them a general idea of what's going on, but they don't share with them the entire roadmap. They don't send them the entire roadmap. You keep the roadmap, what you're planning to do in the future, you keep it very general and broad strokes. So, let's say I was the founder of a ride-sharing service, and the VC said, what are you going to do in the future? I'd say, well, if we have a network of cars in a city, we think they can be used for a lot of other purposes, and we're planning to explore them. They say, oh, can you be more specific? And I say, well, anything a car can deliver, we could probably do, whether that's a person or a package. Okay, could you be more specific? I say, well, we don't know at this point. We're going to try and test everything. So now I don't sound like I don't have a plan, but I do sound like, hey, I have a lot of different ideas, and we're going to test them. It's all reasonable. I don't have to say, we're going to do packaged food that gets reheated because we think high-end packaged food that's made by quality all-star chefs, and we started meeting with the chefs and getting exclusive agreements with them. We think those exclusive agreements are going to get us an advantage over everybody else because they'll recognize the chef's name, they'll be willing to pay more, and they can heat it up, and we can have the same cars that are delivering people around, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to go into that level of detail or specificity that gives you the tactics. If somebody says in a basketball game, we're going to shoot a lot of three-pointers, okay, fine. That's, you're going to shoot a lot of three-pointers. But if they say, hey, we're going to play a certain specific type of a defense against this player, and then we're going to try to get this person to foul out, that would be like the more detailed playbook. So, listen, you're learning. People will steal from you in the beta. You may want to put a little NDA in there, but there's really not much you can do. You can't really protect ideas. You have to win in the marketplace. But I think calling out the other company is another strategy because you'll both get a lot of attention and the space will get a lot of attention. So if it's me and I'm a hyper-aggressive guy when it comes to this kind of stuff, I don't like when people steal from me. I had one guy steal from me. I really took him to task on it, made it very public. If somebody steals from you, I think you're well within your right to take the picture side by side and say, this person was in our beta, this person copied us, and we met, and I would even, if the VC doesn't give you the answer you like and you're really aggressive, you could say, and we think this VC, if this VC does invest in them, you could tell that VC now, are you going to invest in this company, and did you know that they copied us? And they copied us pixel for pixel, and take a look at this blog post, because if they're willing to steal from us, I wonder what they will do when you're partners with them. I wonder if they'll steal your money. or steal your shares in the company, or try to figure out a way to cheat you because they're cheating us. So I'm aggressive. I'd write a blog post and I put arrows and show pixel for pixel how it was stolen. And just say, we realize that there's a lot of people out there who steal, but we found this pretty egregious. We worked really hard on this, and we really wish that this person, Joe Blow, would have come up with their own original idea. Mix it up. Protect yourself. Be a little bit of a fighter. Don't sit there passively and let people steal from you. If one person steals from you, God, then everybody's going to come in the store and steal from you. That's what I learned. You make an example out of the person who steals with you. I don't even want to tell you what my dad did to some guy who reached over at his bar in Brooklyn and took a bottle of vodka out of the speed rack. I could tell you what my dad did with him. He dragged him out of the bar by his face, beat his head into a mailbox. I would never advocate doing that. But in Brooklyn in the 70s, and if somebody steals from you and you don't take decisive action, you're going to have somebody come in with a gun and rob the register next. At least that's the way my dad taught it to me. He could be completely wrong, and I'm giving you terrible advice. But I'm a fighter. If somebody steals from me, I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to make an example of them. No stealing. Not cool. You should confront that founder, and you should tell the VC, I'm really, concerned that this other company stole so blatantly from us, and I'm concerned that you might think that they actually originated the idea. I'm sure as a venture capitalist, you would rather invest in the people who actually have the creativity and will continue to innovate, as opposed to the person who simply stole from an innovator like us. Huh? Sounds pretty good, right? Who knows?